Ora si registrerà la conferenza.
Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the Eumans weekly meeting, and I was saying earlier that we kind of shape the meeting according to the agenda and the situation of the initiatives that we work on. This week we decided to focus specifically on stopglobalwarming.eu, the initiative, because after the marathon that we had last week, a few people started to have an interest on the initiative and some ideas on how we could work on that. So we thought it was a good point to start to have a moment together, see what every one of us can do, want to do, or how to connect different actions that are ongoing. On the meeting, we have a few of the Eumans people. So maybe let's do a very quick round of intros so that maybe everyone can say what they do in their normal life and what is their Eumans superpower in terms of taking care of initiatives. And then we can discuss, I think, seeing Jürgen and Harry on the call. To me, the main 2 points on the agenda are on one side, Germany, because Jürgen is based in Germany. He was a former MEP and he has a good knowledge of, I mean, unless he has other ideas. And Adam just started an internship with us he's in Freiburg, but with our office in Brussels, and he's going to take care of Germany. So I think maybe putting together some ideas could be helpful. On the other side, Henri, who is based in London, but is French, we could work on some ideas on particularly the Green Party we were discussing via chat, maybe both in London with the French community in London, and also try to expand toward France, maybe. Then there is all of us. And then maybe, Henri, we can also talk a bit about startup, because I noticed a good interest among you guys that took part in the innovation session during the marathon. So maybe we can come up with something also for the startup, like to start to think if there is anything that can be of interest for startups. I suggest we do a 1 minute each introduction so that we know who we are. And I mean, you know me because you heard me for 12 hours last week, so I will not introduce myself again.
I can start. Marco Cappato, Eumans president, former member of the European Parliament, and one of the promoter of the European Citizen Initiative stopglobalwarming.eu. I'm based in Milano.
So I'm Henry.
Henry. Hi, Henry.
I'm Henry. I am from France, originally from Paris region. I'm living currently in London, and I'm the co-founder of the Bubbly Tree project. Basically, the idea is to use ethical arts revenue to plant trees.
And you work in finance, right? Like you understand economy as well, something like that.
Yeah, I have I'm in my day job. I work for a bank, so I have some basics.
More than me for sure. Okay, good.
Who's next?
You.
Okay, fine. I'm Andrea Salimbeni. I'm a researcher in energetic engineering. I'm based in Florence, and since the beginning, I can say I support humans in the development of initiatives concerning climate issues, global warming, circular economy, and so on. That's it.
And Andre is one of our scientific leads. I mean, everything that is related when we discuss policies, proposals, even when we get objections around the ACI and things like that, is one of the people that have the knowledge to deep dive into the proposals in itself to make sure that we kind of not screw up.
Okay, Nice to meet you, Guy. I'm Lorenzo. I'm working for Human and campaigning for stopglobalwarming.eu. I'm coordinating the collection of signatures in Italy and in France.
I go. Hi, my name is Christian. I'm usually based in London, but today I'm in Apulia, in Italy. My superpower, I think, in the Humans is about connecting people and having ideas. And I'm mostly looking about, the English speaker country in Europe.
Hi everyone, I'll go next. My name is Adam. I'm originally from the UK, but I'm currently based in Freiburg in Germany. And I'll be doing a similar role to Lorenzo as my internship, where I'll be working on the campaign, but based in Germany specifically.
Okay, I'm Jürgen, as Virginia said. I'm a former MEP, but now I'm retired. Yes, I'm doing a blog. It is called Europa Blog. And recently we meet at the Brussels Press Club Europe during a press conference of a different ECI. It was on
Voters Without Borders.
Yes, Voters Without Borders, yes. Yes, and currently I'm working on a short study on ECIs, and that was the reason why we came into contact. And in general, I support the fight against climate change, and therefore I'm open to support you as well. Yes, we can see what I can do in concern with my blog. Politically, I'm a member of the German Left Party, and I have close contact to the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, and I think they are open for these issues as well, and perhaps I can organize a small link to this wing of the society as well.
Great. So thanks everyone for joining. I think so. The goal is to close the meeting around 7. Maybe we can start with maybe Marco to put a bit into the political, to try to insert what we did last week with the EU Tax CO2 initiative, a bit in the framework of how the Stop Global Warming initiative is kind of ramping up a bit politically. I think we had an acceleration on that side, and maybe some ideas that you developed after the marathon. Then I'm gonna give you a couple of updates on interesting stuff that are happening more from an advocacy perspective, and then we can try to focus on these 3 areas like the Greens, Germany, and the startup innovation world, as trying to put some ideas together and see if we can trigger something else.
Thank you, Virginia. No, I don't have much to add, because I think that the marathon succeeded in involving more people and groups around Europe, and to reinforce the European Citizen Initiative as the collective effort from the bottom to the up, from bottom up, to ask officially to put carbon pricing and carbon tax in the agenda in an ambitious way, not just as a tax border adjustment or in a marginal way. We have that, but that was a first step. We have we have a lot of things to do yet, because the signature, as you have seen, are still stuck around 40,000. We have until January 21st to collect them. Of course, there is also a lobbying occasion, even without waiting for January, in order to reinforce the panel of people and organizations that are supporting the proposal. So I think simply that we should work on all different and possible aspects. On one side, to involve political personalities to strengthen the clout of the proposal from a political point of view. On the other side, the campaign, so involving influencers, companies, sponsors, and so on, in order to make the people participate. Both those levels are essentials. There is no point in having a lot of noise on the web without having a political clout. There is no point on having distinguished political personality without having a public opinion effort. So each and every one of us has different kind of experiences, network, and capabilities. So we have to work in all the direction. Mainly the campaign is still not European enough. It's stronger in Italy. It's much weaker all around Europe. So it's very important to understand what can be done around Europe for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. So I think maybe we can start with a focus on Germany, in my opinion. So what we did, just to clarify for those of you who didn't follow all of the campaign, as Marco was saying, we're working on political advocacy and supports and endorsement on one side, but also in having political leaders to spread the voice about the initiative within their political parties and networks on one side, and in their role as elected representatives. So one of the key actions that we're starting to do is to involve local mayors and regional council to inform their communities about the fact that there is an ECI and that people can sign that. In Italy now we have around 10 municipalities who adopted this official local motion, and this got the attention also of some organizations here in Brussels. So I've been invited to the region week to present the case for how local municipality can play a role in informing citizens about the possibility to sign ECI. So of course, this is a bit of a long shot because you need to get them on board, but this is something that political parties can do when they have elected representatives, mayors, local councillors to inform citizens. Within the European Parliament, after the marathon, and immediately before, we had some more interest among MEPs. In particular, Eleonora Evi, who is the first MEP, she's from Movimento 5 Stelle in Italy. She's very active. She sent us a list of MEPs that she's been in touch with, and she's starting to help in the creation of a network of MEPs, which is going to be helpful on one side because they are political leaders in their countries, but also because as part of the outputs of a potential achievement of the 1 million signatures, there is the hearing in front of the Commission and the hearing in front of the Parliament, and potentially the Parliament has some powers in terms of activating instruments. Jürgen and Marco knows more than me about that. So for that, the support to the initiative is pretty much cross-cutting from left to right. It's more leftist at the moment. However, we got a reaction from the office of Tusk, EPP leader, and we are going to arrange a meeting with him, with his policy team, because of course the whole idea of the ECI is to be able to go as much as possible across all the political parties. Talking about countries, I think the fact that we have Henri, that is French, living in the UK, Jürgen, that is German, maybe we can start with a German focus, since Adam is working on that and Jürgen is based there, maybe to try and understand when we can do to kind of create some streams that can start to increase the number of signatures and also the German support. So I don't know, Jürgen, if you have any, first of all, feedback on the marathon, but also ideas that you came up with once you saw us in action, or any thought?
I'm just thinking about Adam. You are based in Freiburg.
Yes, yeah, I'm based in
Freiburg.
Freiburg.
There's a European office of ECLI. ECLI is a network of green cities in Europe. Do you have some contact to them? That could be helpful.
Yeah, a few of the people on my course are currently doing their internship there as well. I guess I could make a connection through them. Also, we had a member of ECLI come in to do a presentation to us at one point. So I could contact them.
But yes, I can imagine that could be helpful. On the other hand, the situation in Germany, in my region where I'm based in Germany, that's a Ruhr area, the old coal mining area in West Germany, in Westphalia. It's very difficult to get support in this region because you have the old debate work against climate protection, and therefore it's really difficult. I already started to come in contact and to inform some people in my context in Germany from the Greens. They are open, they are interested, but to involve mayors from our region, I don't see, because they are very traditional social democrats, and traditional social democrats in the rural area mean they are connected to the big industry, coal mining industry. They closed it, but the mind is still with this pattern of coal mining industry, steel industry, and car production, and therefore they have a lot of concern, and they say that will increase the living cost for workers, for our electors, and therefore we are really careful to support this. It's better in the south, in Baden-Württemberg, in Freiburg. That's a more green region. I think you can underline this, Adam. No? Especially Freiburg is a very green city.
Yeah, Freiburg kind of prides itself on being the green city in Germany, if not in Europe as well. So I think if we can get something happening in Freiburg, that would be a good way of suggesting how it could be able to spread throughout the rest of Germany. As you say, especially in Baden-Württemberg or in other areas where there are a lot of green councils, or where green has a larger presence. But I agree that perhaps in parts of northwest Germany, or also in the northeast, it may be harder to make that political reach.
And there are a lot of cities now. We have that could be a point in Wuppertal. We last Sunday 2 weeks ago we had local election in Westphalia, and we had a second round for the mayors last Sunday. And in Wuppertal, there was the former chief, the former boss of the Wuppertal Institute for Climate. He was elected as a new mayor, and he is a very well-known person, and he is really engaged with all these issues around climate protection. And there I can try to make a connection. Perhaps he is ready to sign.
And that would be amazing.
Yes, I met him. I know him personally, not very well, but a year ago we met in the context of an event, and therefore the possibility to contact him and to ask him directly. Yes.
One thing that I think is the ideal flow, particularly in a country where we don't have any real situation, is if we could create a snowball effect. So let's say we find a supporter, and then we are able to get it out there in the news, even if it's just at the beginning. I know that I used to work in the publishing industry in my previous life, and I know that, for example, local newspapers in Germany are kind of important. Like in Bavaria, this Süddeutsche, I don't remember, it's kind of the newspaper. So I don't know if we can find a way to find a good supporter, and then maybe a newspaper or a media outlet that can speak about it. I think if we have these two steps together, it then helps to have a an acceleration. And then maybe also Jürgen, the article that you were mentioning or the podcast, maybe if we can start to have something in German with Monica as a, I don't know, sort of a foot in the door in the German, so that we can say, oh, this is what we are doing. We have a reference in German that explains the initiative, and then this can create this snowball effect. Maybe, I don't know what you think, but probably associating an endorsement and a commitment to a media output would be what to look for in a short amount of time.
Do you have connection to the green newspaper Taz? It is called Tageszeitung, T-I-Z. It's one of the biggest and of the best newspapers. It's not the biggest like
I remember the name,
but it is a Taz, T-A-Z.
Yeah.
I can try to introduce you. They never reported about your ECI. I read it daily, but that's important because it is every green people or all the people in Germany, they are connected to green and all these issues. Read this newspaper daily.
Cool.
I think there is a point for those countries where renewables and in general green initiatives are more common than in other countries. I'm thinking about, for example, the wide diffusion of wind energy plant and solar plant in municipalities, or in general in many rural or urban areas in Germany as well as in Italy. I think it could be interesting to contact mayors of municipalities having accepted recently or in the past years the installation of renewable energy plants, which are often subject of political position, because when there is the opportunity of realizing a new plant, wind plant, photovoltaic plant, hydroelectricity plant in a municipality, there is often, we could also say always in Italy, for example, a debate internally to the municipality, and it could be interesting to contact mayors having an ongoing feasibility study or an ongoing initiative for installing a new renewable energy plant in their town or city. I did in Italy. I tried with two mayors. One of them probably will sign if it has not already signed, because he contacted me because he's negotiating the installation of a new plant, aeolic wind energy plant in his town. And I took the occasion to say it is good for you if you want to do the plant, if you agree on doing this. Signing this initiative is an additional support to your position, because you are a green town, you are a green city, and you are doing that. So you are in the position of signing and supporting our initiative, because you are already in supporting the green energy transition. This is, I think, an opportunity, I say, mainly for those countries where there are many situations like these, and in Germany there are more than in Italy, at least for photovoltaic. It could be interesting because I think it is easy to contact municipalities where these initiatives already took place.
So maybe out of the research that Adam did, because Adam already started with a research on the different mayors' contacts, maybe we can try, instead of sending hundreds of email, first of all with the suggestions of the region that the two of you identified, and then maybe to see if there is so we are a bit more narrow, but the outreach is more specific, and then it can resonate better. So we can see, I don't know, Baden-Württemberg, okay, here, and this is some plans for doing a search of these things that Andrea is saying, so that we can, the first line of the email can be more specific to their situation, and it can maybe trigger more interest. Okay. Eugen, from a more European part, I mean, I don't know how close you are with your life as an MEP, but do you have any idea about what can we try to do in Brussels from a parliament perspective?
Yeah, I still have contact to some MEPs from different parties. It could be interesting to get in contact with Sven Giegold. He's a very well-known Green politician from Germany.
You know, that probably is one of those that Evi, let me tell you the name, 1 second. Because she got some interest from Eumans, no, what's the name?
Sven Giegold.
Okay, no, she didn't mention it. Okay.
He's one of the founder of We Move Europe and Compact. The Compact is a German big website for campaigning, and We Move Europe is a daughter of this daughter company, and that could be interesting. He can open some doors. On the other side, there is Philippe Lambert. He's a Green from Belgium. He's an important politician from the Belgian side, and maybe I think he is ready to support this ECI from the Belgian side. Yes, okay. And there are some more from different parties. Yesterday I had a meeting with Manuela Ripa, she is called. She comes from the ÖDP, that means Ecological Democratic Party of Germany. This is more from Bavaria. It's focused on Bavaria. This is a small party. I can contact some of them and ask them whether they are ready to support you. It's no problem.
Cool. And I can tell you the list, I can share with you the list of those who had been contacted by Eleonora, so that maybe if you know someone, you can kind of remind them or something like that. Cool. Okay. Let's move to France or French in around Europe or outside the borders of the European Union, sort of.
Vive la France.
Vive la France, of course.
So I would say first, for green topics, there is kind of momentum in France. There is a kind of green waves in politics since 1 year. So they want, you already know, many seats as MEP, and then it went very well this year because they won French big cities. So Marseille, second largest city in France, they won Bordeaux, they won Lyon. They were very close to win Lille, and Paris is an alliance between left and green. So that's the landscape. And so following that, our president made big announcement for sustainability because we have he announced 100 billion recovery funds, and he allocated, I think, more than 30 billion for sustainability. So it's a big topic now, sustainability. On the other side, as the director of the think tank you invited as a marathon, Génération Libre, he mentioned it. Last year we had a big issue, big strike, civil unrest, because the government wanted to make something different, but still called the carbon tax. Basically, they wanted to tax more fuel unfortunately, it was going to impact mostly low-income families. So there was a huge strikes in France. So in terms of communication, so I started to forward the petition, and I had some strong reaction. Some people just saw tax CO2 and then they became very upset, even without knowing what it was. They said, "No, but it's not to tax poor people." So in terms of communication, yeah, I guess a bit tricky in France. Just the communication, because after I have to explain now is to shift the tax, to put more tax on, to put a price on the tax on CO2 on taxless people, and then they start to listen more. But when I sent the material, some people were a bit strong about, had strong reaction. Maybe they didn't really understand because it's in English, I don't know. So that's the reaction. So otherwise, I was thinking maybe, as I told you, I just want to talk about it with our local contact in London for the French Green Party. What is the current sensibility towards this topic? Because I think so far I didn't really hear about it in the French Green Party, but I'm sure somebody is working on it. He only has probably some contacts. I know they're connected to a French-German MEP. I think she's French and German. She's bilingual. I guess Jürgen Klute knows her. And then there's a university professor quite well connected as well. I can ask her, maybe she knows what is the opinion of let's say senior politics of the Green Party on this topic, if there is a possibility to push for it. And then if I talk about the citizens, there is a lot of things going on digital since, for example, the COVID. There is a kind of movement called Le Monde d'après, the world of after, or El Mundo Dopo. So it was they had quite a big audience on social media. So they invited like you, scientists, famous actors, to talk about sustainability, and maybe it's a good idea to contact them. I don't know if they already talk about carbon pricing, but they draw quite a large audience. And then there's, I think there's kind of a young face emerging from the COVID as well. It's a French girl. She's a politician. She's a student in Sciences Po. I don't know if you know it. It's like the top university for politics in France. A lot of politicians come from there. So she's young. She's
Lorenzo Mineo studied there. The guy that you see up there, Lorenzo Mineo, he studied at Sciences Po, and he makes a point.
So maybe he knows her. I don't know.
Can you repeat the name?
It's Camille. She made a video during COVID, and you know she's on the mountain, and during 20 minutes, somebody is dancing in the background. On this, she had like 10 million views in a few months when she talked about sustainability, the way we treat our planet. To summarize, our bad habits, why we are doing it, why we do nothing. So she catch a lot of audience, and now she's invited in a lot of events, like the Green Party annual event. She was there for a speech. She went as well. She was very brave. She went as well to the annual meeting of French CEOs and entrepreneurs who are not very green. So she went and she made a speech on so maybe something it would be good to try to contact her because she speaks very well. She's photogenic. I think people like her. So maybe she can draw attention to this carbon pricing petition.
So these last two that you mentioned, I think if you have ways to I can send you our the content that we usually share. Maybe you can help us to send it to them. Like the Le Monde Après seems very interesting. Like,
but Lorenzo, you speak French then?
Yes,
okay.
Actually, yeah, I speak French. And I also have a question for you, Henri, and for you all guys, but in a pure brainstorming mood. I don't have the answer, but what do you think could be the best way to trigger a real activation of all these contacts we are talking about? So just asking to sign the initiative and promote it publicly, or shall we maybe, because an idea could be also to organize a kind of conference, for instance, with all these contacts you were mentioning, Henri. We could do it in French, something at national level with the national contact that we are writing to, proposing to organize together a kind of talk on the initiative. But I mean, it's just an option. I don't know. I'm just wondering which could be the best way to you know, involve them and to let them feel that it's something that they can feel part of, you know.
Yeah, I think it's. I guess I don't know how you did in Italy, because it seems that you managed to really push for it. But I guess in France, yeah, you need to involve, you know, key figures for, as you say, maybe an event that to push them to get involved. Otherwise, just sending an email won't be enough. Yeah, I think you're right.
Larry, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
You said that you are based in London, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yes. Okay. And you have good contacts with the Green Party.
Yeah.
Is in London and should I say a French community or member of the Green Party?
Sorry, what is your question?
Is in London a kind of community or Green Party member that are French people living in London?
In fact, we have in UK, mostly London, a Green Party, French from the Green Party, basically. There are members of the Green Party, and some of them are activists since quite a long time, and came from other parties, like they come from the socialist parties, for example. So they have a lot of experience, and they switched to Green Party recently. They are because I don't know if you know, the left party in France is dying, and the right party is dying as well, because Macron took everything. And then you have only basically extreme right is still there, I guess. And then the Green Party start to be quite strong on the left. So.
Okay. Do you think that maybe as a first step we can organize something in in London? I mean, with the community in London or in the UK?
I can ask. I just joined the Green Party, so I can ask Remy. So it's my contact. He's the guy who organized. I can ask you.
Yeah, because I think the value of the UK. So we have already. It's one of the countries where we have more signatures. The UK. It's 1,200 signatures, which are for the majority invalid because are from UK citizens. So they're valid only those that we collected before 31st of October. But I think if we are able to do something in London with the French community, and then we can replicate it with the other EU member states communities in London, it could also become newsworthy, probably. Like, these European citizens that are still doing European politics, even if the UK is messing up. So maybe there is also a bit of an angle for the media, like how EU citizens, French in this case, doing something in London, and then maybe we can go after German in London or something like that. It could be also something to experiment. So maybe Christian and Harry, you can try to make something happen in London to start. I mean, I don't know how physically doable is at the moment. I don't know which are the rules at the moment in London if you can organize.
6 people.
Yeah.
We can meet only 6 people. But Harry, if you want, we can have a chat and have a brainstorming and come up with an idea.
Otherwise, if you feel like it, there is an event on Sunday. We're gonna the French of the Green Party wants to clean the canal. So if you want to meet them, yeah, we'll be outdoors. I can forward you if you're interested.
Okay.
When are you back in London, Chris?
In a couple of months, actually.
Okay. Shit. But Eve can go. Eve can
go.
You're in Italy.
My alter ego, Eve.
Okay.
Okay. The last bit is I think the startup world, Henry, sorry again, but also Andrea is he knows a lot of company innovation stuff. I noticed that the panel with the innovators, entrepreneurs, and startup was very participated during the marathon. There are a few startups doing similar things. I would say a lot of tree planters, as I call you, Henri. And on the other side, all the element of green investments. I guess there is a lot of similar stuff across Europe with similar either missions or reasons why. So I don't know if there are, I wanted to ask Alberto and Federico, who are the two guys who organized the panel, but I was wondering if there are startup communities that cover the topics that we covered during the event, something where we can propagate the message. And the reason why I'm thinking startup is because the way how startups are built are very much based in the engagement with their communities, strong either newsletters, forums, Facebook groups. I mean, there is always a strong interest toward their users, and so it's also a way if a startup endorses the campaign and then propagates to their own users, it's a great way to reach people and get the signatures, in my opinion. So I was wondering if in the green startup scene, there are some hub that we can try to reach out to get a sort of a startups for stop global warming type of thing, but I don't know.
I can, in 2017, I have participated to a very nice event. It was Creative Business Cup. It was in Copenhagen. it was incredibly full of innovative approaches, such as the opening event of this Creative Business Cup. There was Pussy Riot representatives. That makes no sense in terms of business, you know, but it was an alternative event gathering participants from everywhere in the world. In fact, a Chinese guy won, I remember, with the robots, very nice robots in a category I was appreciating a lot. All countries participate, and there is quite extended selection system, because there are national selections and then European or general global selection. So there is the first round is at national level, and the second round is the final at EU level, but involving also worldwide participants. I think that could be, I just came to my mind now because of talking about hubs. I think we could contact them. I should have some contacts, I don't know, but they have a very strong presence on social media and on websites. If you write CBC, let me see if they are. Yes, they are. Creative Business Cup is okay. I will. I'm trying to find the link. This is the Italian one. I'm just looking now on the web. But you see, there is much of initiatives. I think we could try to contact them. I have some contacts because I participated with the startup I was working until 2 years ago. So the event is very interesting. I think they won't have so much problem in publishing something. I don't know if taking a position, but why not? Because they promote green technologies as well.
Let's try.
That's right. Yeah, that's a
Also
point.
because I guess they
So
have
the
a
company,
database of if it's
yeah.
a cup, they probably have a database of hundreds of startups across Europe that participated into the different.
Yes,
so if,
sure,
even if they just inform all of them about the initiative, and it could be a multiplier, as they call it, the real ECI professionals.
Yeah. Also, the event is very nice. We were hosted by the municipality of Copenhagen, so they are quite big. I think I can try to find contacts. I don't know if the person I know they are still working there or not. But I can try. I have WhatsApp number. Regarding the companies, I tried in many cases. The issue for startups is, according to my experience, is that they have to, making an example, if there is a startup promoting a renewable green technology replacing the conventional one, okay, so they communicate with the potential customers or clients they can have, and more often their clients and customers are companies currently working on conventional technologies. I mean, if I have a technology for advanced biofuels, I work with ENI, and if I work with ENI, because they are interested in that, but it is difficult for me to support an initiative taxing CO2, because I know that my partner would not be so happy. This is the issue. Is an issue which I have found many cases. Startup need to grow, and they are unfortunately they are not strong. So they have to be careful about what they publish, because they could risk having not that good background from the partners. This is an example. Sometimes they can, but some other times we don't know. That is something they can be stopped by their position. It would be better to have big companies because they manage the sector and they can drive also startups. That would be the best. Of course, we have to find companies with quite an advanced approach to their sector. But I think our direction should be having startups because they represent innovation, reaching the big companies because they drive, unfortunately they drive the market and sometimes also the political position as well.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot with the Creative Cup guys, because we got the feedback from them, and maybe I will ask Alberto and Federico, and maybe like a couple of the female founders that were at the event were super interested, Amanda and Anne. So maybe we can see if we can have a startup exploratory task force and see if something comes out of it. I mean, if there is an interest, we need to use the ingredients that we have. So we have startups at the moment. So let's see if they take us. I think a startup that has in its mission, green sustainability, etc., probably will take the stand, but depends also on the sector, if it's B2B, B2C, and a lot of factors as well. So definitely. Okay. Any other big idea? Otherwise, we'll go to a short summary and we see what can we do from here.
Just a question, Virginia. Yep. Do you have some contacts to Czech Republic? I have some friends, but it would be only helpful if there are enough supporters for 10 or 20 signatures. It's not enough. But if you have some contacts,
we don't have. I will be brutally honest. We don't have any person from Czech Republic that showed up. We have some signatures talking about dozens, but maybe your friend could join the next meeting and can give us some insights. Maybe there is something that, as we are trying to do, like what we can trigger. Maybe we can have an initial. I mean, depends what he does or she does, but
yes.
maybe.
He is very well known in the civil society in Prague, in Prague, and maybe I will contact him and ask him whether he is ready to support you, because he is engaged in this issue for a long time, for decades. Yes,
that would be very important also because Eastern Europe, politically speaking, is crucial for not reducing the proposal just as a Western Europe proposal, or I mean, this kind of cleavage that there is now in Europe on carbon prices. So that would be very important, and we could provide him all the material information, for example, to send out to media, newspapers, and so on. We have a multi-language material. Basically, maybe English would be the easiest, but we can also translate if it's needed.
No, he speaks very well German, very well English as well.
Exactly. No, I mean, we could translate material for the public opinion if he foresee any channel in which it could be delivered. So yes, thank you very much, Jürgen, and please contact him.
Yeah, and he was he was the founder and leader for a long time of the Ecumenical Academy. He is a theologian, but a very left one and a critical left-green one. And he did a lot of things in Prague to establish and to improve civil society, and it could be interesting. Yes, I will contact him.
Actually, now that you say Prague, isn't Prague one of the 4 cities together with Budapest, Bratislava, and Warsaw? That the 4 mayors of these 4 cities made a shared statement on sustainability, green policies, kind of to counteract on all the rule of law, Visegrad type of approach also to the. I will check if Prague is one of them, because maybe if your friend is so active and we could get the support of the mayor of Prague, then we could try to get the 4 mayors of this Green Pact to support the initiative. That will be. I'll send you the article, because maybe your friend knows about this initiative, and if he has this good connection, maybe the mayor is 2 steps away, and we got the mayor of Prague on board. I'll send you the article.
Okay, that would be nice.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think we got Jürgen and Adam. Maybe I connect the 2 of you. I create a small thread so we can Germanize the thing and exchange contact. And if it's fine if I give your contact to Christian, so that maybe you can tell him more about the Greens in London, and you can start to connect there. And France, maybe Laura and Harry, you can speak and see what we can trigger with these influencers and see if it's what. To be honest, guys, my only recommendation is that we need to be efficient. So we do the event, if then it creates a bomb of signatures, like let's find a way that it's not requires too much energy in terms of organization, but has more output in terms of propagation and stuff like that. But let's see. Cool. See you next Thursday. We'll be in touch. Marco and myself have another meeting tonight, so we need a bit of a break.
Grazie. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Cool.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.